Part 2, y'all. Shit.
Actually, bro, it's not part 2. This station identification commercial is brought to you by... Oh, it is part 2. My bad. I thought we were doing something different. Was it a commercial?
I thought we was doing part 2, but
No,
okay.
I'm like, bro, it is part 2. I'm just joking. Hey, man.
Those phones are out there.
I like you, bro. I just caught you off guard with that. You guys catch me off
You
guard.
caught me off guard. That's good.
Yeah. Shout out to Sandoval boxing gloves. Essential gel gloves. To get your punch on. Not for people, but to get your punch on. Shout out to
Like the pink.
I'm not gonna shout out to Remusic. It's got smelling good down here. Remusic, lovely lavender.
Shout out to
Remusic. I'm trying to get some sponsors, y'all. Remusic, we love you.
These
Remusic.
guys are the sponsor.
shout out to Silver Falls.
Silver Falls.
Yeah,
Silver Falls.
purified water. We love it,
Silver
man.
Falls.
Tastes like it just came out of the mountain.
Also, shout out to the cell phone people at the mall after the selling cell phone cases.
And also, shout out to www.anuppimpinstyle.com. Give me hugs, hashtag.
Give me
Give me hugs.
Hey, let me back to part 2, man. Green Sing in the corner pocket, man.
So we left off, baby, on the Four Fridays. The Four Fridays
Right.
story.
So that was like the first time that we officially hung out, right? We were walking and conversing, and like I said, I was so worried that Anup was going to be too quiet, right? Because again, even at that point, we're not dating. We're just hanging out as friends and just having a good time. This was also the time that Nicole got hit with a really bad earthquake. So my father had just came out of the hospital as well. So we both needed to be out of the house. Again, supporting each other more as faith friends. And it was just weird.
You said faith friends?
A faith friend, yeah. I mean, we are very, very strong in our
Get
faith.
y'all some faith friends.
Yeah.
Faith friends.
Faith is the foundation.
Not fake friends.
That's a
Faith.
big
Faith.
difference.
F-A-I-T-H.
So it was amazing. It happened. We had a great time, and then I think 3 days later, that's when Anup said, "Would you like to go for a movie?" And I was like, yes, he did.
So that movie was Driving Miss Daisy, wasn't it? I
I think it was Hugs/Huggies.
It was. I knew that night because after the movie,
Now, how long had y'all got up to this point? Y'all had been like kicked
3 days.
3 days.
3 days. It was
That
3
made-
days from the fourth Friday.
That made that game.
And it was crazy. Again, when it's natural and the universe is aligning stuff, it's just weird the way it works, right?
Putting my hood on, it's about to get to her. Let's go.
We laid outside and looked at the stars outside of the movie theater till 5 in the morning and just talked. And after that, I was like, yeah, this is amazing. That's when we knew, right?
I'm slipping. I have
I'm
never
serious.
took my partner and watched the stars and
Well,
talked for hours.
At this point, we're going to hold you to that because this is public record. Because we just bought a country home where it's dark and there's lots of meteor showers. So you let me know.
Yeah,
Y'all not gonna know where.
Yeah,
G14
I
classified.
got you.
G14 classified. But
Yes.
I feel.
You're going to fulfill that.
No, you got more game than me.
Right. But we need to also find out what they do, man. 'Cause, we can talk about that more during the show, but we gotta find out what they do, though.
So man, I am interested because we were kind of a little bit talking about this, and I'm gonna let her explain more to it. She is the owner and founder at Little Locust. At Little Locust, you're gonna find an atmosphere of serenity. They pride themselves on honesty. Oh, I'm pausing for special effect. Honesty. Honesty.
Transparency.
And compassionate healing. Says come as a client and leave as a friend. Little Locust Reiki LLC. Can we get a little bit on, first of all, congratulations for owning your own
Thank you.
business. You know, shout out to that.
Yes. I
Congrats. Little Locust.
Lotus. Like
Lotus.
the lotus flower.
Where did that come from? Where did that drive, passion, idea come from?
because I wanted it to be, the name was actually, I had a couple things at first, you know, but it needed to be what my overall mission was, right? As a Buddhist, the lotus flower is the one flower that grows in mud. So as we have came from trauma, as we face challenges, the lotus is constantly blooming, but only while we are in mud. Symbolism, you know, as the challenges that I was going through, you know, that I was blooming at the same time, and I wanted to help not just females, but I have very many male clients. I work with vets, Ronald McDonald House, sanctuaries and rescues across, but also animals. Little Lotus was aligning those, bringing that compassionate nature through people that just needed to be able to see that trauma again is temporary. Yeah.
Man, so as I had mentioned, I said Reiki. That's correct, right? I thought. What
Reiki.
is Reiki?
Reiki is the best way to explain it is almost like acupuncture without the needle. So each and every one of us have chakras. We actually have 7 chakras: your crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar, sacral.
She'll say Afro.
And your
crown.
room.
My Afro is my crown.
That
Y'all
is
see
your
that
crown
picture?
chakra.
Y'all gonna see my crown.
That is your crown chakra. So each of these they're constantly moving, they're constantly vibrating.
Right.
And a lot of people don't associate some of the ways that they feel each day, or some of the illnesses that we get with these chakras each day. But we get blockages in these. Some of them can come from trauma, some of them can come from, you know, a perfect example is if you feel or have came from relationships that you have not felt like you could talk freely.
Wow.
You will have a blockage in your throat chakra, which ultimately will lead you not being able to live the life in your truth.
Can you please repeat that again?
I mean that. So if you have been in past relationships and you're not able to speak your boundaries, to be open and honest, you will have blockages in that throat. So in return, not only will you get that blockage in your throat, but that, if not taken care of, can lead to certain, I think it leads to sickness and illness. But it also stops a lot of people that have those things, you know, the clients that I'm working with right now with a lot of throat chakra stuff, that's the case. They've been out of those relationships and now they're working on, this is my truth. My truth. Not my truth according to you, not my truth according to what my husband thinks, or my mom, or my sister. This is my truth. What does happiness look like for me and only me? We have to learn to live for ourselves and align ourselves with everything that we are before we can do that with anybody else.
What you said.
Yeah.
What you said.
She helping y'all today. We here to set the captives free. That is interesting that you were talking about the throat hindrance. I've talked to numerous people, numerous guys, especially men, to where they have lost themselves, which they lose their voice.
Yeah,
And they're not
that's
able
not
to
good.
express themselves. And so it's really deep how you explain that I didn't even know that was an issue, that if you are suppressed, or if your voice is suppressed, your emotions, you can't express what you really want, what you feel, that can cause major health issues.
Major
I
health
never knew
You
that.
can throw the entire body off. Because remember, our throat chakra is then connected to our heart chakra. A lot of people that come in that's been dealing with it for a long time, a lot of people with childhood trauma and neglect, again, because that's all about not being able to speak freely, right? They come in and then they realize that they have, you know, heart issues and all the way into their shoulders, and a lot of them get diagnosed with scoliosis because it's literally does occupy the whole body. Again, we are all working on these power centers and they all got to work together. And I think science has now come around. Again, acupuncture is a Chinese philosophy that's been around for centuries, and it's hundreds and thousands of years. It just wasn't that new to you know, the United States and the Americas until UC you know, started to bring that over, and then it went to a couple of Reiki masters in Hawaii, and then now it's kind of made its way around. but we weren't hip to it. But now we have all these science journals that are being done. All these, it is really coming more mainstream, which is really cool to see.
Wow, D, girl, that took me out, man. Go ahead, D.
That's deep.
That's
because,
deep, bro.
I mean, I know for me, man, like that's real deep. I said when we had our interview and everything, and you know, when you were first telling me about it, I'm like, dang, for real? Like, so I want to get more deep into that. So you're saying like it's for the body about the, you know, this needles and all that stuff. So what if somebody is like dealing with like depression or anxiety or frustration, fear, the services that you provide, that can help them like release all that, like
100%.
and tap into that positive energy.
Yeah, I actually work with Wounded Warrior. I like to do a very big part, again, Little Lotus, a very big part of my thing is I am honored to be able to do this, right? I think that I've been able to do this from my own trauma. To help people with trauma, you have to be relate to it because you've got your own and you've had to have worked through it. So in my way of giving back, I give back to all these. The Ronald McDonald House, Wounded Warrior is another one. When we're talking about PTSD, when we're talking about anxiety, we're talking about people that have seen the worst of the worst, right? It is the least we can do. I would say probably 50 to 90%, I know that's a wide range, is some sort of anxiety and PTSD. Now we talk about the world right now. We're 3 years, post-COVID?
Yeah.
The energy of the world is crazy right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think a lot of people are taking time to realizing that they're picking up a lot more, right? You can feel that the world is just in this crazier time, right?
Absolutely.
I do. I think more people are coming to it, and a lot of people are having more anxiety because of it, right? Because it's new, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But anxiety is actually one of the main things that, and in animals, 100% anxiety and trauma is one of the biggest things for them too.
Now, when you say in animals, like,
I read that, bro.
like,
That took me out.
Yeah, like, so what? You mean like all animals, like from like dogs to llamas to
elephants, to monkeys, to
So there's animal
wolves.
Reiki?
I'm certified. I'm the only one in the city of Columbus that's certified animal.
Yeah, animal Reiki.
Yeah.
And what, like Dee was saying, the animals, what does an animal Reiki session look
Look
like?
like, kind of like a human Reiki
Because like
session.
you're kind of doing double. When you said elephants, I'm thinking of double, huge elephant. How do you Reiki the elephant?
It's funny because I will tell you this right now. I've always been able to, I've been an empath my whole life. I've been a very sensitive person my whole life. I've always bonded with animals my entire life, so I think that helps a little bit. But animals know a lot more than what we give them credit for.
Absolutely.
I think animals know certain situations way better than we will ever comprehend. Death is another one. I do end-of-life care with humans and animals. That is a concept that we still struggle on, right? Depending on who you are, it's a tough topic to talk about. Animals got it figured out. They have done it. They just got more than we do with that. A session kind of looks like, again, what a human session. They know. When I walk through the door, they know. They will come and they will do this lay down. They will also let me know when they're done. And we go from chakra. First off, we do an Oberon. It's called biosyn scanning. That was brought down from UC and William Rand of the the Reiki committee. And what I do is I take my hands about 6 inches away from the body and I'm feeling for anything that's pulling. Are we pulling? Are we pushing? Are we cold? Are we hot? Or anything internally that I say, okay, I know, I feel that I need to go there, right? And a lot of it is where I'm guided to go. And I'm very rarely wrong. I'm not tooting my own horn there, but I'm proud of that because that's my truth and I'm learning to stand in it, right? And the animal will literally sit there, respond in its own way. And and when it's done, it will walk away. It'll do a thank you gesture of some sort. And that even goes for elephants. That even goes for monkeys. I was so scared to work with Misfit Monkey Rescue and IAPES. They are the Ohio Association of Primate Education Sanctuary. I was so afraid because these are bigger primates, right? But I learned something with every animal session. I am taught something about myself with every session that I do with an animal.
Wow, so Anup, are you present? Have you ever attended one of the Reiki sessions that she does, or are you actually involved in working in that area as well?
I'm only usually, not all the time, but sometimes, like she mentioned, the monkey sanctuary, I was there because it was something new for her. She was a little bit scared, so I was there as a support or to just make sure that she's okay. And I'm always behind the scene because what she feels, what she can do, I'm nowhere close to it. I'm just there as a support behind the scenes, but I'm not with her during normal sessions.
So you're not gifted in that area as well. You just kind of like do your
But
thing,
it's
sweetie.
my
I got you.
A1 on everything. On everything.
Wow.
So, how do you like support her? Like, say she just, I mean, it's positive, so it's probably rarely that she has a bad day. But,
He laughed.
That laugh should tell you everything you need to know.
but how do you like support her? Like, say she comes home just like,
Very good question.
what do you do, even though you know what the field she's in? How do you support her, give her that strong backbone?
So for me, as a husband, when she goes to a session, I know 100% that she's gonna come home tired because when she does that session, she depletes herself energy-wise so much that there are times that I have driven to the place so that we can dive safely together because she's so depleted. Because when she gives, and she has nothing else to give, and this is at like 9-10 o'clock in the evening, at night, so I have to be there as a husband. So on normal days when I don't have to be there, she's gonna come home, but I know she's gonna be tired, so I just make sure that there are certain things. She has routines in the house that she likes to clean certain areas certain ways, put certain things certain ways. So when you use the house throughout the day, it's all messy, so I make sure all the houses are clean, all the animals are fed, all the animals are secure, the chickens, we have chickens.
Okay.
So those are the worries.
Yes. Egg collect, y'all. It's our collect for egg, not yours.
I can't.
So there are certain things that I know that she will have to do when she comes home, but I want to take that away from her plate so that she can just come home, take a shower, and relax and go to bed.
He does.
And that way,
Hold on now, why I
I don't
stop you
have
right
to worry.
there? You about to help a man out. What you just said, my man. Men, listen to what this man just said. He said, I know my wife is tired, and when she comes home, I don't want her to have to do the dishes, take care of the animals, the house is clean, she can just take a shower and chill.
And that goes a long way.
It's
I
player
couldn't do
move.
it. I couldn't do it without that.
It's a player move.
Could not do it without that.
So you were saying like you make sure all that is, the environment's conducive for her to recharge.
yes.
It takes a
Yeah,
lot
that way
sometimes.
when she comes, she has nothing to worry about, just take her shower and relax.
There's also been times I did this Reiki event. There was this big rescue in Cleveland, the Healthy Heart and Pulse Project, and I vowed that I was going to go down and I did 13 hours straight of Reiki. They were all rescue dogs brought from fighting rings. And I said, I am not going to leave until I do Reiki on every canine in this facility.
How many canines was that?
34. 34. When I got home, I was sick. I do a sex traffic survivor. I do their retreats with the wonderful SOAP organization. Sex trafficking is actually one of the biggest in the city of Columbus. It's a huge problem. And each year we bring sex traffic survivors in for a retreat. We give them massages and facials, and we pump them up that that they're doing great things with their lives. And I've been able to be a part of that. But when I'm there for a week and I come home, phones are off. I mean, you literally have to shut down because we have done push so much out, right? And that means you take on that daily, and he does it without a second even thought. I mean, I could not do what I do in any fashion without that half, you know?
So when do you know what's your limit? That you get to a point where you're
That's
like,
funny, isn't it?
you're like, man, like I gotta chill, maybe I gotta take 3 or 4 days off. Like, how do you know when your limit?
I am so trying to find my limit. I think I could be 80 years old and both of you gentlemen would be looking at me and saying, so you figured out that balance later? Not yet. It is in my nature, right? If someone else, even when I'm having a bad day myself, that's normal for me. But balance is one thing, it is my number one thing that I'm trying, because self-care is vital for all of us. And I'm learning that. Practice what you preach. And I'm trying that.
I want to go a little deeper on that. You really are really helping a lot of people, because you got me on guard with the throat thing.
Yeah.
How when your voice is in bondage, in prison, and you can't release that.
Exactly what it is.
Like, I think there's a lot of people pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, currently now, that are suffering with stress from the job, stress in their marriages, stress like all over. I want you to kind of touch on that and how important this can be a benefit to them in part 3.
Okay.
Part 3?
Deal.
Yeah,
No, I don't get that in part 3.
and then we're gonna figure out what my man do too, man.
Oh, yeah, you gonna get it,
We
man.
ain't talking to him.
Well,
man.
actually, you
I
know
feel
what he do, bro? He's a player. He poured the cold, man. Come on, man. The Anup, let me look at it, just like the Anup Black Book to Successful Relationship. That's his book, bro.
Hey, y'all know where to find this at, man. So I ain't gonna repeat it, but where can they find y'all at, though?
LittleLotus-Wiki.com or at Little Lotus Columbus on Instagram.
And that's gonna be behind the scenes, whatever she does.
Behind the scenes.org.
There it is. Hey, we see y'all in part 3, man.